Good morning, beautiful people. It is Monday, August, I don't even know, 8th, 6th, something. But what I do know, it is day 18. Day 18 of my challenge. Got 12 more days after this. Woohoo! Anyway, got a good quote. Let's start off the day, Monday, with a quote. This one is something I need to hear. You cannot swim for new horizons until you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. And, it's a really good one for me right now. I need to, they say 90% of your thoughts every day come from the previous day. So a little bit at a time, you can get over something that may have happened to you in your past, more recently, so forth. And, I'll be honest with you, I've been pretty hurting the past month or so. About a month now, yeah. And, I lost somebody in my life, and it's been a hit. Just so you know, they're not dead. But I lost someone that was in my life every day, and I no longer have her. And, it's hard to move on from that. And I have hope, I have belief. God has a way for me, God has a plan. But I know what I deserve, I know what I want. But you still think about, I'm still looking backwards sometimes. And what good is that doing me? It's not. So keep your head forward, keep swimming forward, and don't look back. And then once I don't look back, I can maybe start thinking about the new horizons. Right? So that was by William Faulkner, by the way. Great quote. Today we're going to talk about how can you build up mental toughness with fitness. And we'll talk a couple things about that. But what is mental toughness with fitness anyway? When I hear about that, I think about the intensity of fitness that's maybe required to, push yourself. There's a lot of people in the gym that have a drive, that have a passion to really give it their all. I want to be my best. I want to do the best and push hard. And then you see people in the gym that are just like, I'm working out, right? And what's needed to fulfill your fitness goals? I guess that's up to your goals. But how do you get a little bit more mentally tough to push yourself to, I think ultimately it comes with the mindset of you're wanting to be the best that you can possibly be at something. You want to be the strongest that you can be. Whether that motivation or that drive, that mindset comes from setting goals, or setting smaller goals, or looking in the mirror and saying, man, I want muscles. What is it going to take to get me muscles? Okay, it's going to take this. Well, I'm going to go do that. You define that why, and then you figure out the how. So that mental toughness, we could talk about, or we could talk about maybe the mental toughness just to get to the gym in the first place. How do I develop some toughness to really just show up every day? And that's when, again, as I said previous days, maybe you just need to take some pre-workout, have a pre-workout addiction for a little while. That way you can get in the habit of just going, right? Or maybe you need to take a little bit of courage to ask a friend to join you, or have some courage to walk into a place you would never think you would walk into, maybe a CrossFit gym. They always said the hardest part is, you're halfway there after you walk through the door, but the hardest part is actually just walking through the door. Once you walk through that door and you break that barrier, you'll see that it's a business. They're going to be nice to you. They're going to want your money, right? They're going to give you service. So what is there to be scared of, really? Nothing. Mental toughness, again, in what aspect? There's a lot of aspects of mental toughness when it comes to working out. And that's the whole reason while we are working out, when it does start to suck, when it does start to burn or whatever, you can push beyond that. Go for a run. You start to want to slow down, like, all right, let's walk. No, a little bit further. That's how you build up your mental toughness. You can push yourself. You can push beyond what you believe is possible. That is mental toughness. That is how to build that up, right? So working out is a great way to build up your mental toughness. Is working out itself and fitness in general. All right, let's talk a little bit of crypto here. Be a shorter video. Do I see everyday actions everyday transactions being used by cryptocurrencies? Yes and no to an extent. Again, how do we know that the technology being used today isn't actually being used by the same technology that cryptocurrencies use today? When you swipe your Visa card, do you really know what's happening in the background? Do you know technology is being used to transfer that information and store that data? We don't. All right. We could go into Visa and they say publicly and look at their database, but we can't really see their ledgers. We can't really see what's really going on in the background. So we don't know if maybe the technology is even starting to be used already. There's a lot of cryptocurrency knowns because, again, these blockchains can be private. Not all blockchains and cryptos have to be public ledgers. They could be private ledgers. So do I see it being used? Absolutely. At some point in time. I see it being used for just more than transactions. I think in the future we'll have a voting system that's based on cryptocurrency technology. We'll have, and tomorrow we'll talk about a little bit about stable coins. But stable coins right now are being used for everyday transactions to get money across borders, because if I have family, friends, I want to send money across borders, how do I do that today? I go through Western Union or MoneyGram or something like that, but it's expensive. And there's some countries I can't send money to. But a stable coin or Bitcoin, I can, Bitcoin is volatile, I get it loses value here and there. But stable coins are normally stable, and it's cheap to send across borders. Nobody can stop it. It has similar technology Bitcoin has, even though it's not as centralized. So those are already being used for some bigger transactions across borders and so forth. So do I see it completely taking over? Eventually. Do I think we're there yet? No, not at all. That's like, give you a good example where we're at in cryptocurrencies. We're in that 2000 phase, 1999, 2000 phase of the internet. Were people using it? Are people using crypto today? Yeah. Is everybody using it back then? No. Businesses are starting to adjust. Businesses are starting to understand the technology and how to build off it. And we're seeing liquidity, with ETFs come into the market, and they're going to flood the market with liquidity over the next, hopefully, year or so. And then that will help build it out. And then in 5 years, nowadays, how do you run a business? How do you run anything without using the internet today? It's virtually almost impossible to run a cash-based, paper-based business today. And that's how it's going to be in 20 years, 15 years with cryptocurrencies. It's going to be impossible to run a business without the use of blockchain technology. It is by far one of the greatest inventions of our time. And nobody cares to learn about it. Nobody cares to want to invest into it. But this is the future. Stop looking at price, start looking at technology, and start finding some good investments to invest in for you, not for today, but for tomorrow, your investments. Imagine going back to 1999, 2000 to buy some Amazon stock. Go look at the price of Amazon stock back then. Before, how many times it split? Look at the market cap. And imagine if you were to put $1,000 in, how much money would you have today? And you can't wait 20, 24 years? Well, this is my retirement account. So anyway, peace.